On Monday, September 16th, this is the homework that your child will bring home. The first question says, draw an array to show 9 times 4, where the 9 represents the number of rows. So, I take my 9 and I make 9 lines. I then add my 4 circles on each row. The 4 represents the size of the row. Now this week and last week we are working with properties of operation. So one of the properties is distributive property, which is taking a larger fact or a larger expression and breaking it into 2 smaller parts. So it says model the distributive property by breaking apart the array. Write the 2 smaller expressions next to each part. So we've talked a lot about how we love to count with 5 and 2. I know that 5 is a part of 9 and 5 plus 4 will give me 9. So I'm going to break 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 my array into 5 rows and then 4 rows. And I'm going to write 5 times 4, the size never changes, and 4 times 4. It says it down here in letter B, add the parts, so I'm going to take what I have. I find the product of both of my smaller expressions, and I find that my total product is 36, or 9 times 4 is 36. Here we're solving division equation. There's an unknown factor, and it also says write a related multiplication equation. I know that when we multiply, we end up with the total product or bigger number at the end after the equal sign. So I'm going to take that 27 and move it from the front to the back after my equal sign. I then know that one of my factors is 9 and I'm missing a second factor. I can skip count by 9s to get to 27, or I can use one of my division strategies that we've learned. So I can make 9 groups and put 1 inside of each until I counted to 27. This is called the fair share. So I would continue on until I found out the size of each group. On the back, we're working with word problems. It says Jim knows 5 times 4, but doesn't know 5 times 6. How could Jim use 5 times 4 to find 5 times 6? Here it says think about the distributive property. So if we were to take the 6 and break it into 4 and 2, I would have 5 times 4 plus 5 times 2. Then we would have one of our expressions, which it says he already knows, and we know that's 20. And again, we get to count by 5s and find that that's 10, and the total product is 30. Miss Mayer buys 3 bags. We box the word bags because this usually tells us that we know our groups of lollipops, with 7 lollipops in each. Each is a keyword. Draw an array using X's to represent each, and this should not say pencil, this should say lollipops. So 3 groups with 7 lollipops in each, or 3 rows. So I'm going to draw my 3 rows and use X's. The second part said she decided she wanted Jolly Ranchers too. She bought 4 bags with 7 Jolly Ranchers in each bag. Add O's to your arrays to represent the Jolly Ranchers. So then I would add 4 more rows and I would add 7 O's on each row. Then we're working with distributed property. We can add the expression, which is, oops, and I only did, oh yeah, I did do 3. 3 rows of 7 to represent our lollipops, and then 4 rows of 7 to represent our Jolly Ranchers. Find the total of each and add both to find the overall product.